It's Astrology Roast. I think it needs to sound like a shitty intro, like a funny shitty intro.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Astrology Roast. My name is Karen.
My name is Itai and we are back at it again.
We sure are. For those of you that wanted a bit of a summer break from Astrology Roast, apologies. We have nothing better to do than to be with you here today. And of course, there's nothing I would rather be doing. Itai, it's been a while since we've uploaded an episode and we'd had a good chat. What's been going on? Has it been a quiet time for you? How's this Sag season been treating you?
Wow, it has been a Sag season and a crazy one. You know what? Let me take it down a notch. It wasn't a crazy season. It was a light, delightful season. Was I still depressed? Yes, but I felt a bit easier. I felt a bit lighter. I made some new, refreshing decisions. I have a cat now. I'm a cat person, and I got this cat in the most astrological way. So it was a full moon in Gemini during Sag season, and you know I live with a Gemini. I had roommates. I had a Gemini roommate in every apartment I lived in since I moved out of my parents' home. And I keep being
Wow, way to make a girl feel special, you know. I thought I was, a special Gemini housemate. And you just you roll through them. You revolve through them.
You were the most important one, but you were a part of a lineage of Gemini roommates. You know what? People around the world are like, I'm not willing to live with the Gemini, but I'm the one who live with you guys and loving it. It was a full moon in Gemini, and my Gemini roommate obviously ran into a stray cat in quote unquote the mountains. I was just going about my day, and I had 5 missed calls on my phone, and it was from my roommate. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a shit, and then when I finish I'm gonna call him back. And as I was on the toilet, I went on Facebook and I saw him posting on like different groups saying, hey, I need can I borrow like a cat thing for poo and pee? And I was like, oh, look like someone has a cat. And little did I know, I did have a cat, and we were supposed to just foster this cat for a bit, but we fell in love with this beautiful Leo cat. And now I'm a cat person, and right now my goal is to see how many hours and days he can suffer me singing the chorus from I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman on repeat, and to see if it has any effect on a cat, if it goes crazy or if it makes him feel better. I don't know. That's my research at the moment.
Wow. And I must say, as an observer, since this beautiful cat, who hopefully I'm allowed to reveal his name is Prince. So yes. Since Prince has entered your life, you have had a smile on your face, a spring in your step. I can feel your whole energy has shifted, and it's really upped your Instagram game. And also, I don't think Prince minds at all that you're singing Britney Spears, because, as we've said, Prince is clearly a Leo. He doesn't shy away from the camera ever, and I'm pretty sure Prince has his own Grindr account already established. Like, he's a pretty hot bitch in Tel Aviv. So I'm very excited for him to have entered your life. He seems like he's going to fit right in.
Well, he already has. What about you? What's your Sagittarius experience of this season?
Well, look, it has been, really an intense time, but a beautiful time. I really resonate with what you were saying about still feeling depressed but feeling a bit lighter. On the Gemini full moon, it was interesting. I pulled all these tarot cards. Occasionally I work out of police stations, and sometimes it does get quite quiet. And, I still want to identify as a radical woman who, isn't into the popo and, knows that they kind of can be abusive and oppressive. But yeah, look, girls got to eat. So sometimes I work from an outpost in the police. And I was pulling tarot cards that day on this Gemini full moon, which is my full moon. So it has extra potency. And I remember getting this spread that feeling like, oh, that's a little lame spread. Like, that's a bit boring. And I pulled a card that was all about family and family of origin and how that is going to be my future, and feeling very depressed about that, going, oh, God, we've dealt with that. I've had enough family time. I want to move to something sexy and exciting like the Magician card or, just a fun card. But I keep getting all these watery cups cards. And that day, my beautiful Aquarius grandma passed away. And I feel like it's not a coincidence that she felt ready to go on a Gemini full moon. And as I found out, I was actually reading this new cookbook that I'd purchased of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern cooking. So I was sitting eating a really gross meal that I'd prepared for myself, like literally a takeaway burger that I'd fried up with some sad salad. But I was reading this beautiful book of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern cookery, and that's when I found out that my grandmother had passed. And so it felt really significant that she passed away at the very zenith and height of a Gemini full moon, also just before the new decade. So she's lived through many, many decades, was 93, lived a very rich and full life, and I felt that she was kind of like, I'm not hustling into 2020. I've done what I need to do, and I'm ready. And, so it was a week of, as the tarot cards indicated, it was filled with a lot of family of origin time, a lot of learnings, a lot of triggers. There's a lot of people going into Christmas and Hanukkah and the New Year will know that family time can be beautiful and quite difficult. But it was a celebration of her life. And as I said, she was a, true Aquarius in the sense that everyone said that she got along with everyone. She referred to herself as a feather that could fall wherever she fell, be it in the deep pits of Russia, in the hot desert of Israel, just strutting around, growing oranges and various citrus fruits, or, landing in Melbourne, Australia. Like, she was this kind of feather floating around town. And at the funeral, during my father's eulogy, he mentioned that when he asked her what she wanted to be reincarnated as, if she wanted to come back in another life as something else, which is very interesting that he asked that, because I felt that I was the only Buddhist in the family, but it looks like my Israeli dad has some wisdom from Buddhist philosophy that he's not quite aware of. I mean, there was a lot of strange racist undertones in the eulogy, but that's a separate thing. But he mentioned that she wanted to be reborn as a bird so she could glide and fly from place to place. And I feel like that summarizes her essence so well. And she really was a woman of the collective that was loved by all and just wanted to move from place to place. And since her passing, all these birds have been literally flying into my face, like flying at my head, flying on my feet, chatting to me. I keep looking at them, asking them, what's the message you have for me? What's going on? And they just, keep eating, rat poo or doing whatever they're doing as birds. And I'm trying to get the wisdom that they're trying to share with me, but maybe there is no lesson there. Maybe it's just a sweet omen or a message, or my grandma just coming to say hi. So it was a really intense full moon, like literally at the peak. That's when this happened. But similarly, as you said, like, sad but lighter, and maybe an appropriate thing for the end of the year to kind of be grieving and mourning but ready to move to something new and fresh.
That's really beautiful, and thank you for sharing that. And I think it's also nice to, even if these birds don't have a message, even if they just around you, as a reminder or just saying hi.
Yeah, well, I feel like, there is the traditional characteristics of the crazy cat lady. I don't know if there is the crazy bird lady with birds flying around my hair. Like, is that kind of a thing? I mean, Home Alone 2 or Home Alone 1, there is a woman that is sleeping rough that's covered in pigeons and birds. So I feel like maybe that is the energy I'm cultivating for the end of decade.
I say you don't need to have a reference of a crazy bird lady. Just be the bird lady you want to be. Like, reinvent yourself. Well, I had, as we were speaking about, Sag month and being light, and I also remember some moments where I had the Sag energy in a way that maybe wasn't as light. Sag people are known to be blunt and not think things through. And also, the temper of a fire sign, the temper of someone that is not very, that can't be tamed, as Miley Cyrus, a famous Sag, has an album called Can't Be Tamed and a hit song called Can't Be Tamed.
But don't you think that like no one wants to tame them? Like they keep being don't tame me, don't box me, and no one is trying to box them. It's fine.
No one wants to tame you. Like the Sag artists, like they come on stage, they shake their ass, they take their boobs out, and then they're like the kid that want people to just be shocked at them. And to be honest, people are shocked, by Miley, by Britney, Nicki Minaj. They love the drama, as Taylor Swift also says in a lot of her songs about how she doesn't love the drama loves her, and etc. But they do love the attention. Anyway, I was going on the bus because, I bus to work because I'm very environmental, but also can't afford a car. So I bus to work and I went on the bus, and I live in Israel, as you know. And here the road rage is, and the rage in general is very high, but the road rage specifically, people are very angry. So it was just 8 a.m., 8:30, I'm on the bus. I walk onto the bus, go on, and I hit the card like I pay. And as I was sitting down, there was this truck driver that wanted to merge into the lane, but couldn't make it. So he just tooted really, really loud and long for like 10 seconds. I'm just waking up. I'm not a morning person, so I wasn't even thinking, but I just flipped him off. But like as a passenger on the bus, I just flipped him off, but constantly. And he's looking into my eyes, and he just hits the tooth even harder, and he just goes for like a full 60 seconds. I'm holding my finger up. He's looking me straight into the eye. To tell you I wasn't getting a bit horny, I was. But, and then I look around and I can see that everyone is looking at me, and I am the crazy person on the bus. I am. And it felt so weird. I was like, I was flipping him off for all of us. Like I was.
I think that's very Sag behavior, isn't it? You were just like really taking it on your shoulders to represent the bus community, and everyone was like, "You're just a crazy person that's holding a rude finger up."
Yeah,
it kind of sounds like. Did it sound when he was honking the horn? I know it was getting you excited, but did it sound a bit like a shofar, like an end of year ceremonial horn that we play in Jewish culture, or just sounded irritating?
No, it sounded like my worst anxieties bubbling up. It sounded like motorcycles that are like revving their engine, and you're like, just run me over, just end it. That's how I felt.
Well, I think, it sounds like that's a very Sag energy. I've been feeling some of those same blunt Sag energies in my office space. So we are obviously in the lead up to Christmas. I am one of the rare non-Christian, non-secular people in my current office, and they've put up a small little Christmas tree, a plastic one, which is great. Like, I think Christmas is fantastic. There's lots of gift giving and consumerism and capitalism, which I'm all about. And one person made a joke and said, looking at me, of course, I hope the non-Christians don't burn the Christmas tree down. And I was like, okay. And then everyone looked at me and said, you're not offended, are you? Like, are you offended? I'm like, wait, what? I'm not offended. But firstly, why would I burn the Christmas tree down? I actually adore Christmas, and I've always been envious of Christmas because as a Jewish kid growing up in the hood of Elstonwick, you don't get Christmas. Santa doesn't visit you. He always goes to the other houses and all the kids have their presents and you have nothing. So yes, I was like, why would I burn it down and why would I be offended? And then this same kind of, I'm pretty sure she's actually a Sagittarius now that I think about it, but this same colleague, before she left for her break, looked at me and she said Merry Christmas to everyone else, and then she looked deadpan at me and she goes, Happy Festivus. And she goes like, and then again someone goes, you're not offended, are you? I'm like, why does everyone keep asking me if I'm offended by these very offensive comments that are quite othering? Firstly, I don't celebrate Festivus. Like, I've never identified as someone that celebrates. Festivus is a fake made-up holiday that George Costanza's father invented in Seinfeld to try and get out of Christmas and to get like tax breaks or something like that. So instead of celebrating Christmas, the family would have to celebrate his own like tax evasion religion called Festivus, where they would put a giant pole up in the house instead of a Christmas tree. And George was always very embarrassed about this. I hate Festivus. It's the worst time of the year. No one gets any presents. You're meant to sit around in a circle and tell each other what you hated about them for the year and how they disappointed you. So actually, I mean, I feel like I've kind of celebrated something similar to Festivus for most of my adult and child life. But I don't identify as someone that celebrates Festivus. And just because I'm Jewish, it doesn't mean I'm familiar with Festivus and Seinfeld, even though I've seen all 15 seasons of that. So I don't know. I just hope that everyone out there that is in that pre-Christmas mode, if you're kind of maybe not celebrating Christmas and you're in an all Christmas celebrating office, I hope that you're navigating that and, you know, no one's asking you 50 times if you're offended. And, you know, it's Sag season, so obviously people are kind of sharing their views and being quite blunt, but soon we're going to be in Capricorn season. In fact, we just entered it as we're recording it right now, and that will be the time to methodically plan how you burn the Christmas tree down in your office.
We gotta do it.
If anyone has an idea as to how I can kind of destroy the one that's in my office, it is plastic, so I wouldn't burn it because that's not good for the environment. No. But I don't know, maybe there's another way to do it without getting found out as the sneaky, subtle Jewish girl that sits right next to the Christmas tree.
Maybe in order to be more environmental, you can send that plastic tree to Israel and I can take it with me on the bus while I'm using public transportation. And like that would give me more of a vibe of like the crazy person on the bus. You know, the guy that walks around with the Christmas tree and flipping all the drivers off.
Well, you said that birds have also been flying onto you. So you've got birds, you've got your root finger flipped up. You don't have any other mode of transport other than the bus. And you might have a plastic Christmas tree to hold in Jerusalem. So I think that's a real vibe. I'm feeling that.
Isn't that also called giving someone the bird when you flip them up?
Is it? I thought giving someone the bird was a dance move.
Well.
Or a sex move.
Well, we are a professional podcast, so we can't Google it right now because we are fully in recording mode. But if you want to pause and Google it and let us know in the DM us.
And I want to give a plug whilst people are DMing us. I want to give a plug as well to Next Wave Festival. I forgot to mention that I am recording in the depth of the Next Wave Festival office. It is an amazing festival, alternative arts festival that is in Melbourne next May. So plug to them because they're letting me use their office space. There's lots of plants around me and cables that I can plug my phone into and charge things into. I'm using their Wi-Fi. So I really feel like it is a community festival and I'm very appreciative that they have allowed me to use their office space for free because I know we do have a podcast budget, but it has been limited lately.
We do have an unlimited podcast budget. I'm refused to be given a credit card in the state of Israel due to previous debts, but still our budget is unlimited.
Yes, like our heart, like our love. And on touching on that, we will hopefully speak a bit later about Venus now moving into Aquarius, because our capacity for unlimited love is actually going to grow as of now, and collective love. So I am just putting a teaser out there. Go look it up, Aquarius, Venus now in Aquarius. So you might feel like spreading yourself a bit thin. So
Yes.
giving love to all your friends, your family, your barista that makes your coffee for $5.50, your bus driver as you're giving the bird to people in the community. So our love and our style is going to get a bit more wacky, a bit more collective, a bit more alternative. So I'm excited for that as well, because
Time to get
I'm feeling
kinky.
it.
Time to get kinky.
Yes.
Or, give it a shot with one of your friends. See how that goes for you.
Yes, and I do have a Leo friend that's always like, you love Leos, you just need to go out with a Leo. The next person you want to be with is clearly a Leo, isn't it? I'm like, okay, well, I've never said that, but that's nice. Yes, so that's been Sag month. It sounds like it's been intenso as expected for both you and for both I, but Itai, I'm glad you're feeling a bit lighter, even though you're feeling a bit crazier and a bit more blunt with your rude finger just being flipped up, up to everyone in the Middle East.
I did feel I regretted that. It didn't feel nice to suddenly see yourself from the outside through other people's eyes. But what can I do? I'm a hot-blooded Middle Eastern man, you can say. I'm a hot-blooded Middle Eastern gay boy with a feminine voice. That's stereotype.
And you've always been. And, I just loved it. I had a friend the other day, he was talking about you and he said, I feel like I know everything about this Itai fellow and his 10 million cousins and his aunties and uncles. And so I think it's beautiful that you've been true to yourself. In other true Sagittarius fashion, I was talking to my Sagittarius cousin. She's all of 17 years old. She's about 7 foot tall and total beauty, and a total empath as well. She feels everything in the world and is so connected to the world. But she was telling me, she's going through some tough times because she broke up with her boyfriend, and at 17, that can be really full on. Although 17-year-olds are all very advanced now, and like they move on really quickly and they go through healing and they talk about self-care, and it's really weird. But she said to me like, he was talking, to another girl, and like she said, quote unquote, to me that flirting is cheating. So she had to end it. And I was like, wow, you've got stuff to learn, girl. Like, he was talking to someone else, so you end it because flirting is cheating. And I just thought, wow, real Sagittarius message. We've had beautiful Librans on this podcast who have said quite the opposite, that flirting is 100% not cheating.
No.
If anything, it is probably a human right, and it's something that we should, get jiggy with. And here I have a Sagittarius being like, nah, flirting is cheating. Although, I'm sure Britney Spears would have some other opinions on that.
Britney has a Venus in Capricorn, so I feel like she would say flirting is 100% cheating. If anything is cheating, as long as you're not as long as that moment where you're under the chuppah, when you're exchanging the rings, then anything other than that is cheating. Because we know Capricorn Venus is very traditional, even though rumor has it they're very kinky and surprising in bed. But I want to unpack it for a second, because obviously the theme of flirting and whether flirting is cheating or not has been a recurring one in our podcast. And I don't think by us. Like, we bring the trauma, we bring the transgenerational trauma, we bring the rock bottom experience, but in the bottom experience, and everything. But the flirting is cheating is mostly coming from our guests and listeners and now cousins as well. So what do you think? Is flirting cheating or not?
Look, I think the jury is out on this one. It's going to, as you said, it's going to be a reoccurring theme. People bring it up to me. They're constantly talking about, is flirting cheating? Is it not cheating? Look, in my mind, it's, we're in 2019. We're shifting into 2020. The age of Aquarius, this time when the structures and the boundaries that we thought existed no longer exist, and they're dissolving rapidly. And as I said, with Venus now in Aquarius, I think flirting is life-giving as opposed to cheating. Flirting is eroticism, it is joy, it is pleasure. I'm 99.9% sure my Sagittarius 17-year-old cousin has many better things to do than to listen to this podcast for love advice from her bird lady auntie cousin. So, I hope I'm not, contradicting her. Hopefully next year we're going to have a lot more guests in store for you to talk about, is flirting cheating? Is it not? How do you feel about that? Jury's out. We're not going to solve that one today. We are not. But
shouldn't we take a stance? A stand? Should we?
Well, I feel like I don't want to be backed into a corner, as the true diplomatic person that I am. I don't want to be forced to say, is flirting cheating or not? Like, I think flirting is a bit selfish because there's a lot of other people that aren't flirting or maybe aren't kissing anyone, and you're just taking everyone for you. And that's not really fair. But having said that, I do love a good chat, a coffee and a chat with all of the people that I meet in this world. And so is that flirting? Is it chatting? What is the version of flirting according to the star signs? Like, my version of flirting is making a joke and then looking at the floor and running out of the cafe. My cousin's version of flirting might be sending TikTok videos to someone. See that reference there? Trying to stay relevant. Ooh. But anyway, and I don't know. What is a Aries version of flirting is probably just having sex. So I feel like it's such a broad question. I will not be backed into a corner, and I will take a stand against being backed into corners. And as someone that is a proud vanilla woman, as I said, I think flirting can be eroticism and pleasure and joy, but it can also be very selfish if you're flirting with everyone and you're not sharing all of this love that is in the universe for the people that, maybe we're staying at home watching Netflix on a Saturday night, not looking at anyone in particular.
Well,
so jury's out.
Thank you. I think that was a beautiful Gemini response to a very simple question. I think that flirting is not cheating, but also I have the right to be pissed off that you flirt. So yes. I think my Aries approach is flirt all you want. That's not cheating, but I'm going to be jealous, and that's going to, there's going to be consequences, but not I think cheating consequences.
Yes,
but also,
yes.
Based on what you said, I'm now interested, is flirting chatting? That's my most burning question at the moment. Is flirting just chatting?
Yeah, I think flirting is chatting. I think for me, flirting and sensuality is chatting, but I am a Gemini stellium, so that when my mind is illuminated, when my synapses in my brain are chatting and laughing and making witty banter, for me, that is the zenith of sensuality. That's my love language. It's exciting, and it's so good because society and the collective doesn't view that as cheating. So I'm slutting it up all around town, but then in my own personal way, by just talking to people and just saying, oh, excuse me, what are the directions to the, cinema, or excuse me, where's the toilet? For me, I'm like so excited because I'm absorbing that person's essence and that person's way of being, and I'm flirting with them, and they have no idea. And I'm just like, undercover cheating and I'm not cheating because I'm not with anyone, but I'm flirting with everyone. So look, it's a big question. You've opened up such a Pandora's box of exploration. I mean, what is flirting? What is cheating for all the star signs? Like, we could go on for ages about that, but we are, as I said, we are now in Capricorn season. So I don't think we have time to be talking about anything that's fluffy, anything that doesn't have a concrete goal, anything that doesn't make money, anything that isn't that quiet achiever.
Exactly. I think I want to share one of my last experiences of Sag month, and then we can move on and clear the way to Capricorn month that personally I'm super excited about. So there is a great podcast called Space Court. It is an astrology podcast, and it's really cool. It's really different, the way that it's made and the topics and the themes that they explore. And they reached out to both of us to record episodes with them. And I had the pleasure of recording an episode that was a synastry reading for me and Britney Spears. And I think that it was a dream come true, a dream I didn't know I had even. Like, looking back, I probably did have it, but I wasn't aware of that. And I want to thank Rachel, Say, and Astro Cult, because the three of them, first of all, they're amazing to work with, and it was such an amazing experience to kind of like branch out and see, what our podcast is viewed by, is like how our podcast is viewed by other podcasters and working with them, but also just being a part of a different language, like the way that they speak on their podcast, the way that they make their podcast was just really, really cool. But also they gave me the confirmation that Britney Spears and myself are soulmates. And that was an amazing revelation. And so I wanted to just give them a shout out and say thank you for, confirming my, when I was a kid. And I think I mentioned that on the podcast. One of my youth leaders, she took me to her room and she was like, she took out a box from under her bed, and it was a Backstreet Boys CDs. It was a box of Backstreet Boys CDs. And she was like, you see, when I was your age, I was obsessed with the Backstreet Boys, and now I don't even care about them. And you're going to grow up one day and you're not going to care about Britney Spears because it's, it's bullshit and it's not the way God wants us to live our lives. And I was like, bitch, you wait. And I'm like, I was literally 12, okay, when that happened. And now I'm 31-year-old. Yes, my voice is still the same, but I just got confirmed. I just got the affirmation and the confirmation that, the same 12-year-old boy that believed that Britney Spears is his soulmate was right all along. And
you were 100% right all along. And look at you. Now you're the one that's laughing. And, as they say, what is it? Success is the best revenge, or living well is the best revenge. And I think you do live quite well and within your means. Without a credit card. And I think anyone that knows you knows that you 100% are soulmates with Britney Spears from multiple lives. I think it is a friendship soulmate connection. It is you've known each other for decades and for multiple lifetimes, and you just get each other and you can text each other at the last minute and say, hey, can you look after the boys? I'm off to go out with my boyfriend, Sam Asghari, who's still on the scene. And you're like, yeah, babe, no stress. And you bring her some Starbucks in the morning, and you're wearing dark sunglasses whilst the paparazzi takes photos of both of you. So you're clearly soulmates from many, many lifetimes. I think it's beautiful. And yes, everyone go check out the episode on Itai's Synastry. There is a call out to go and get Britney Spears to find out that both of you are soulmates. So I know there's a lot of amazing listeners who have creative and wild ideas as to how to make that happen. It's an amazing podcast. I'm hoping to work with them as well in the new year to bring something out. Unfortunately, because of some, passings in the family, that wasn't possible at the moment, but definitely we'll work on something. They are pretty switched on and beautiful. They sent me a calendar invite that was titled Premium Economy Guests Only, in reference to the fact that, yes, I did fly premium economy class this year on Air New Zealand. It was a big deal, highlight of my life. But very excited. Go check out Space Court, their podcast, and they have an amazing Instagram account that's got beautiful updates around what's happening astrologically, and they really know their astrological shit as well. So
yes,
really awesome collective. Yeah.
Amazing. So is there anything else from Sag month that we didn't mention?
No, we've mentioned enough. It's enough about the Sag vibes. It's time to move on. We are done with Sag. We've learnt the wisdom. We've learnt the hard lessons. You've probably travelled around town and it's done. It's over. And now we can focus on getting shit done and getting to work, bitch.
Yes.
It's Capricorn season, and it's going to be a solar eclipse over the Christmas Boxing Day time, and it's also the new moon. It's really powerful. We just hit the solstice as well, so it's this kind of earthy but strong initiating energy, which is very contradictory because I know at this time of year people slow down and work gets a bit quiet and people are on holidays, but it's actually strange. We're in Capricorn time, so it's an awesome time to put out some intentions, to start making small practical gains towards your goal. So don't wait till the 1st of January to try and quit smoking. You may as well try and quit and then fail before the new year's in so you can make a new intention. And I love Capricorn time. I think it's quiet, hustling energy.
Yeah, it's like a bad boss, badass beach boss ladies and gentlemen energy. And I think the best part is that it's Capricorn, and then you only have like Pisces, Aquarius and Pisces, and then it's already Aries. So it's kind of like a really good flow of you can start things now, and then only 2 months from now you're going to be having this amazing Aries, fiery, starting and initiating energy. So shout out.
I love that you just glossed over Pisces and Aquarius month as if it doesn't exist. You're like, first it's Capricorn and that's kind of earthy, and then we get to Aries and there's this whole kind of collective broad movement. So as we've spoken about before, the zodiac wheel moves from the singular, the I, to the collective we. And then we go back. So Aries is the ultimate I, egoic, me. So we're not there yet. We're still kind of hustling through the Capricorn themes of the next month. So it is an earth sign. It is a masculine sign. It is about banking and finances as well. So you might run into some cash flow, which is always nice around this time of the year, when particularly if you don't have access to a credit card like you, Itai. And then we move into this kind of weirdo, quirky, strange, oddball Aquarius and then Pisces energy. So shit's going to get kinky and weird and fun and airy and then back into water. So I love that it's going to get weird again, but we're not there yet. We're still kind of embodying and actioning the lessons that we've learned from the year. So don't feel like you're already in 2020 and you already have done all that work. I think we're still not quite there yet, and we still have an extra bolt of energy that we can use at this time to get through really difficult family conversations, really weird times when you're on holiday and you're meant to be having the best time of your life, but maybe you're extra depressed, or you actually miss being at work and having structure, or everyone that you love and care about is away, or everyone that you love and care about is in town and you wish they were away. So it is a weird time. So it feels very fitting that we've got some Capricorn structure, responsibility, some daddy energy, because Capricorn represents the masculine father. So we know that a lot of people listening to this have an absent dad or a weird dad. I have a Libran dad, so he is odd and interesting and very Israeli. But, think about the Capricorn father as the father of Christmas, so to speak. This dad that comes into your room and leaves presents as opposed to leaving your life or criticizing you about who you should have been and why you should study maths instead of English. He's the dad that you wanted. He's kind of a bit hot and he's got that kind of greying beard that Santa has, a bit chunky, wearing red all the time like a true dad in velour red. So this is the daddy energy of Capricorn month, and we can all access that if we choose to.
Definitely. And you really touched on some amazing points and some visible nerves here. Hit the core, I don't have any more metaphors, but I think you get the point. I think that, we've been through a lot in the past year, in the past even 31 years, you can say, but we've been through a Scorpio season, which was difficult. We've been to Sag, and I think we are allowed to take a break right before Capricorn season. I know it's a bit contradicting, but maybe Capricorn season could also be about rearranging. It doesn't have to be, something so intense as working really hard or getting a new job or stuff like that, but taking what you learned. And yes, you're right, this holiday season is difficult for many of us, and we all know the memes about me going to dinner and then Aunt Susan is giving me the look and asking me oh, you still don't have a girlfriend? And then me and then it's is your husband still drinking? All these memes. I'm stir shit up on your at your family dinners, but also I want to offer something radical. Don't go to your family dinners. Do something else. Do something different. We've been programmed to, during the holidays, do it in a certain way. Do friends dinners, do other things, go to one dinner and not for the whole day. Just be kind to yourself. We've been through enough, and I think that it's our right to just do it differently. And it is Capricorn. Imagine, we've spoken about my Natalie Portman method of dealing with things, of pretending you're Natalie Portman preparing for a movie, and then going to Pilates, for example. So I'm saying, if you feel like you are scared to not go to your dinner or to not do what you're expected to do, use the Natalie Portman method. Pretend that you're a Natalie Portman preparing for a movie that is about rebelling against holidays, and you're not going to go to your family dinner and just do whatever the fuck you want. Buy a bath bomb.
Yes, and I think we often misunderstand the Capricorn sign. So it's spoken often as the goat running up the mountain and struggling, but it is a sea goat. So it's actually half goat, half sea animal. And so I view that as Saturn, which is the ruling planet for Capricorn. We talk about Saturn as this kind of negatron, serious planet, but actually it's about responsibility and structure and limitations in a way that it can free and liberate us. So I think it's really beautiful that you mention, we're not quite in the Aquarius energy of Uranus, which is flipping everything over. But there are really small, practical, tangible goals that we can make. And I wonder if in this time of year, let's say you do go for an hour to your family and you notice, hey, I actually wasn't as triggered this year, or I didn't have to tell, Uncle John that I've seen him drinking, or whatever it may be. I mean, I don't have an Uncle John. That's so goyish for a Jewish person. I mean, it's all, Uncle Shmuley, and they do get a bit handsy at times as well. But you can focus on those small little goals that you've made, and you can use that Capricorn energy of scheduling in limits or scheduling in time for yourself. So you can approach self-care or having a break in a really Capricorn structured fashion. You can know that it's going to be a busy, crazy, hectic time of year, and literally write a list about the small ways that you are going to keep yourself sane. So it might be going for a dip in the beach, if you're somewhere that you can do that, or having a bath bomb, or being able to flip off someone with the rude finger behind their back, but not using the words to do it. There are so many ways that we can use this energy during this time in a way that is radical and is about us looking after ourselves and those around us. So it's not about working and suffering through everything. It's about putting structures in place that liberate us and that allow us to be more loving and more caring and more open. So I think it can be a beautiful time. It's not all about just keeping, whipping yourself and struggling through life, because we've done that, as you said, Itai, it's been a long and crazy and wild year for so many people, and we're going into this 2020 energy, which has a lot of beautiful perfections, even in the number 2020. So I think this time we need to be taskmasters for self-care and for breaks and for fun and for pleasure.
Definitely. And I think that you also started by saying that Capricorn is more than just the limitations and the struggle, and obviously the goat that's climbing up the mountain. And I think people forget that Capricorn is actually a collective sign, and also Capricorn is the opposite sign of Cancer, which is it teaches us a lot about Capricorn as well, because if Cancer is taking care and nurturing of the family, Capricorn is the same energy of nurturing but society. So Capricorn is all about changing the world. Whether Cancer is changing your home and your family, Capricorn is changing the world through your career. So it is a very nurturing sign, but not in that family-oriented vibe. And I think a great example, which I love to bring always as a Capricorn, maybe overused even, is Michelle Obama. And the way she used Beyonce to create a video and a song and a dance for kids in the US to dance and maybe lose some calories on the while they're doing it. And my question is, Michelle, where were you? Where were you 20 years ago when I needed you? I don't know where she was, but I think it's amazing because
she was writing her book already 20 years ago. She was writing her autobiography about when her husband was. She was planning Barack Obama's rise and fall and every single dot and what she'd be wearing and who she'll be talking to, because she is this true strong energy that was as, if not more important than Barack Obama, who's just this like handsome Leo. That's just, his face was on every poster and he loved all the celebrities. He'd always invite Beyonce and Jay-Z and Oprah to all of his events. So, yeah, I think Michelle Obama is a really, really great energy to remember during this time. Which other famous Capricorns can we pay tribute to for this month that people can channel and feel into when they're struggling through the holiday season or embracing the holiday season?
We spoke about, of course, obvious, other than my mom, which is, one of the most Capricorns. I went to dinner with her the other week, and she wanted to take a picture of the food, which is a very, non-Capricorn thing to do. But the Capricorn thing that she did was, the light wasn't good enough, so she asked me to put my torch on my phone, and to light the table, and I was embarrassed but also very proud.
And what about your other Capricorn mum?
Oh, well, she's in Brazil right now. My dad's new wife. She's originally from Brazil, and she is living her best life probably. Well, she's not next to my dad for a few weeks, so I can only imagine it's a bit of a fun time.
So I think your Capricorn real mum, though, let's be honest, she is the only Capricorn that people need to be thinking about during this holiday season. She has become one of the most well-known gay rights activists in Israel, probably in the Middle East. And I'm also happy to hear that she's still taking photos of her food with the support of your torch from your phone.
Definitely.
So big Capricorn energy, big shoes to fill, pants to fill, rather.
I'm going to read a few Capricorn names for people to feel inspired by what kind of energy and who are the people behind the sign. So we have Ricky Martin, one of the hottest men to ever exist. We have Ryan Seacrest, which if you don't know the video of Britney Spears finding out that Ryan Seacrest isn't gay, you need to go right now, stop this podcast and never listen to it again if you have to. But go on YouTube and look it up. It's fucking hilarious. We have Jared Leto. I don't even know how to say his name.
Oh God, these are average Capricorns.
Timothy Chalamet, which I can't wait to see him just so I can slap him in the face just to see if he's real, because I just don't, it doesn't really, I don't know. I don't know what his vibe is. Denzel Washington, very Capricorn. Gail, I know you love Gail.
Oh, Oprah's Gail. Yes, yes.
John
Gail,
Legend.
I feel it. Oof.
There's a vibe. There's like this kind of like quiet strength to all of them. They're almost...
Yeah. And wasn't John Legend, before becoming a musician, he was something else? I think he's an amazing producer, or he was an audio producer. He's very talented at something else.
Yeah.
And he slowly hustled and kind of didn't quit his dream, and now he's like obviously famous for his music. And I think, yeah, and obviously connected with Chrissy Teigen, who's really hot.
All of these people are very like, I don't know, like out of, they're in a different league, you know? There's like LeBron James and Bradley Cooper, like very, Diane Keaton. Karen.
Really? Oh, love Diane Keaton. Yeah, wow.
Blue Ivy
Yeah, I do
Carter.
follow her. I follow her a lot. I've got Diane Keaton's Instagram. I mean, I'm surprised she's not an Aquarius, because that's the energy I get, because she's always, it's like she's taken happy gas and she's laughing and quirky and weird, but she's a Capricorn. There you go.
I really feel like you could, like, all these Capricorn women, there's something about them that I think of you, like Mary J. Blige and Julia Dreyfus.
Oof.
It's like really your vibe.
It is my vibe, and I told you I'm alive again. Like, I know Sagittarius was meant to be my time in the sun, because Sagittarian energy is opposite to the Gemini energy, so potentially I'm meant to kind of use those energies wisely, but I didn't quite gel with me, I must be honest. And Capricorn, there is something about a Capricorn woman that is kind of funny and strong, and you know, they're not the most famous, but when you give them the stage, when you give them the opportunity, they're just so funny and they have so much to say, and they kind of change the world in a really quiet, effective way. Mary J. Blige, that is a whole other episode. Like, I could go on about her for many, many, many moons. She is one strong lady.
And Dolly Parton. Yeah, they're just, impressive sign. What can I say? Nothing but respect, nothing but love, as Whitney Houston sang once. So I would like to, before we leave, remind you that last year we did a visual episode, a Christmas episode, a Christmas special, and it's still on our Instagram, on our IGTV, so it's a visual episode, and I'm going to watch it because I have no idea what we spoke about on that episode, and I'm curious. So if you weren't a listener then and you want to go check it out, then do it. And if you were a listener and you want to be reminded, then go check it out. But we will be here again as always. And we just want to thank you for listening to another episode of Astrology Roast.